you guys can let me know that. Okay, so I'm posted live for my Her Health Club members. So I'm going to be looking at 2 spots. If you guys have questions about fertility, put them in the question box. I'm going to be answering a few from my Her Health Club members that have asked specifically. For those of you that don't know what Her Health Club is, it is my membership site online. You guys can find that link in my bio on Instagram on my homepage. And each and every month I go through a live Q&A. So this month we talk about fertility. So I have tons of detailed resources in there that are free for all the members that sign up. But I'm going to give you even more one-on-one, guidance today. So if you have fertility questions, please put them in the box. I have about 4 that I'm going to try and get through, and I don't know how long this Instagram live will be, but I'm going to start with my Her Health Club members. So let's start first by just starting right off the bat. If you're having fertility issues, the important thing to first consider is working with someone. Okay, so this is such an important topic because I can give you tons of protocols and details and specifics, and I do give that for my Her Health Club members. Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm doing an Instagram live as well. So the point of this is having that one-on-one guidance is going to get you the fertility answers you want faster. Okay, that's just how it goes. And I have a lot of really wonderful patients that I'm working with, and a lot of them are working with fertility clinics as well. But the highlight here is really to be getting, a full assessment. And a lot of times there are a lot of pieces of the puzzle missing to your fertility. So it's really important that you do get that full assessment. And just going to your family doctor or just even going to a fertility clinic is not always enough. And if you have a naturopath, great, but a lot of times you do need to be working as a team to really get you those answers. So remember, infertility is defined as over 1 year of trying to conceive naturally without being successful, okay? So if you've been trying for over a year, then we consider it infertility. And if it's under a year, you might have fertility issues or concerns, but we don't consider that infertility in the medical world. So if you're over a year of trying to conceive, then it is infertility, and if it's under a year, it's not. And the reason for that is sometimes you might have issues getting referred to for a fertility clinic if it's not officially been a year. So the importance of working with an ND or a naturopath is to really give you those results that you want faster, okay? So, I mean, it's kind of a bit of a pet peeve for me, but I hear a lot about women talking about, they don't want to spend money on, let's say they don't want to spend money on a multivitamin or a good prenatal vitamin. But the reality is some people will spend $10,000 on a fertility treatment, an IVF. So it's really important that you consider the cost, weight, benefit. And I'm not saying that IVF is not worth the money by any means, but I'm saying that if you're going to spend big money on trying to get pregnant, or you're having a lot of difficulty and you really want this to be a priority in your life, you really have to commit to all aspects. And going the natural route is only one layer of your fertility treatment or of your infertility treatment. So let's just start by that. If you have fertility issues, if you're over 35 and it's been more than 6 months of trying to conceive, then definitely you really want to work with someone one-on-one. Aside from a fertility clinic, you want to have a natural functional medicine doctor or naturopath on your team, because that will make a world of difference. So the first question I got from my Her Health Club members, and for those of you joining on Instagram, Her Health Club is an online membership site that I put on every single month with a different health topic, and I give tons of detailed info on that site. So you can find that link to Her Health Club in my website bio. But the questions I got from my Health Club members, I'm going to share with you guys, and hopefully it's going to be helpful for all of us. So first and foremost is well, my partner says that their fertility doesn't matter. It's just my issue, or it's just the female's issue. And in this case, I really want to highlight that if the male partner in your fertility journey is saying that their fertility does not matter because everything checked out, like they're fine, that's actually not entirely true. And there's reasons for this. So if a woman has some suboptimal fertility markers, for example, AMH, which is a hormone test that you can get to test your ovarian reserve or how good and strong your eggs are. Let's say that number is borderline. Okay, so like your fertility is okay, but that was flagged that maybe there are some ovarian egg quality issues. Well, if your partner, the male partner, has suboptimal fertility too, that can actually prevent that proper fertilization. So basically, suboptimal and suboptimal doesn't equal a successful fertilization and pregnancy, okay? So even more important, if the female partner doesn't have optimal fertility, okay, that's one aspect. But then that even means it's more important for the male to have their fertility in check, okay? So for those of you inside Her Health Club that asked me this question, that's the answer. Does fertility for the male matter? Yes, but even if they get checked out with that kind of clean bill of health, like everything's okay from the fertility clinic, it doesn't mean that they can't optimize their fertility to help you guys conceive as a couple, okay? So male fertility is almost as important. In many cases, we're able to actually look at both partners' fertility as equally important. Okay, so male fertility, quick things that you want to consider. They need to be on a multivitamin. I don't think there's any such thing as a male prenatal vitamin, but literally a good quality multivitamin. Most men or women that are talking on behalf of their partner in my practice, they're like, they can't remember to take pills. Fine. At the end of the day, take a multivitamin in a powder, take a gummy multivitamin. There are some okay quality ones out there for the men. Okay, they need to be doing something. No laptops or cell phones and tablets on their lap. That's absolutely not great for sperm quality, and just in general for motility and just quality of the actual sperm. So really important that the men are not just doing whatever they want for months on end. They need to really consider that their fertility is almost as important, if not as important, than the female fertility. And I'm generalizing. There are individual cases where there is a pretty big gap between whose fertility might need more optimization. So fertility for men matters. They want to consider getting enough zinc, getting enough selenium. So seafood, obviously mineral supplements from their multivitamin is going to be key. And like I said, it's not something that doesn't matter. It's really important that that's discussed. And I've seen some patients in my practice where their fertility is okay, or it's not bad, but the male fertility, once we optimize that, we get them to take some vitamin D, we get them to take some fish oil, we get them to take some CoQ10. And then the women's fertility, she's doing her normal routine, which is obviously going to be a little bit more advanced anyways, that can easily correct any infertility issues. And I say easily in quotes, but realistically, there are so many things that are not done. People go from, I can't get pregnant, to let's spend $20,000 on IVF. And at the end of the day, there are a lot of steps in between, a lot. And even if you decide to do IVF, the male partner's fertility is still so important. So please have that conversation. Vitamin D, but definitely here in North America. Another question. Health Club members. Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm also doing the Instagram live here, so we have two cameras I'm looking at. The second question I got is, does AMH matter? AMH, that hormone, anti-Müllerian hormone. That is the test that a lot of people want to get done when it comes to testing their fertility, especially if you're over the age 35. They want to see what's their ovarian reserve like. What are the quality of their eggs like? Should they consider freezing their eggs? Is the egg the issue? Is it something else? And AMH is a very important marker, especially if you're considering IVF. However, AMH is not a standard test that's done. It's done by most fertility clinics. So AMH, in many cases, should be done by your fertility clinic. But even if you want to pay out of pocket privately, you can. It costs about $75 here in Canada. And AMH does matter. It really does. It tells us a little bit about what the issue about fertility is. Usually in women that have suboptimal AMH typically don't have an easy time getting pregnant. So there's issues. There are some women that have problem with issues getting pregnant to begin with. So there's two separate issues. If typically under 4 in US stats or US lab numbers, but if you're looking at Canadian numbers, it's an AMH under 8 is suboptimal for fertility. So if you got your AMH number, and if you're in the US and it's under 4, look at your lab, or if you're in Canada and it's under 8, it's really important to say, okay, I need to optimize my egg quality. So if age is a factor in your fertility, that's something that we can optimize. But things like coenzyme Q10, antioxidants, having enough proper progesterone and estrogen balance ratios to make sure that those AMH levels are staying healthy. Acupuncture can be great. So really, really important to talk to your healthcare team. That's unfortunately where a lot of conventional fertility clinics stop. They say, take your prenatal, that's it. We'll do the rest. We'll just inject hormones and hope for the best. But at the end of the day, if you really want to get pregnant, it's more than just hoping for the best. So there's a lot that can be done. So if your AMH is suboptimal, it does matter. It's not the only factor in fertility, but definitely you want it to be over 8, or if you're in the US, over 4. So making sure you test that number. And if you haven't had it tested, I ask all my patients, even if they're in a fertility clinic, to please get me that number. You can boost that number in my Her Health Club membership site. I gave tons of advice on how to raise your AMH. It's kind of a big topic, so we're gonna skip that for right now, but I wanna highlight the importance of getting those numbers tested. Okay, next fertility question for you, those of you guys just tuning in. I'm doing my live Q&A this month on fertility for Her Health Club members, and I have tons of resources inside the site if you guys join, and you can find that link in my bio. Okay, moving on. My top fertility supplements, okay? Someone asked what they are. They depend on what your concern is. So it depends what your fertility issue is. But the 3 fertility supplements that everyone should be taking, men and women, should be good quality prenatal. I'll talk about that in a second. Vitamin D and a good quality fish oil supplement, okay? So keynote here is quality. Please, 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 if you're trying to get pregnant, don't buy your supplements at Costco, okay? Like it doesn't make sense. If you want to avoid spending $20,000 on IVF, you really want to think about the quality of supplements that you're putting in your body. And even if there's no infertility issue, you're just trying to get pregnant and try and optimize your health and try to optimize your fertility just as a younger or healthy female or male, that's a fertile age. The reality is spending quality money on quality supplements is going to be a really big difference. And in many cases, it's make or break for fertility for some women and some partners. So if that $20 extra on a bottle of a good quality prenatal can potentially make or break pregnancy rates, in some cases we can. And the reason for that is twofold. Number one, you're getting enough of the right vitamins, and you're getting the right kind of vitamins. You're getting the right folate. So that's 5-methylfolate. That should be the active form of folic acid. You just don't want folate in your prenatal, okay? So please read the back. No disrespect to some of the common big brands out there, Pregvit, Prenatal, Materna rather, they're suboptimal, okay? They're suboptimal. People get pregnant on them all the time, but if you are trying to optimize your fertility, you want to go a step beyond. And that's why naturopathic doctors and inside Her Health Club with my members, I give details. We need to know what we need to be taking and how much. And for fertility and just overall healthy pregnancy, we want to make sure our folate, or our 5-methylfolate, the active folate, we want to make sure we're getting at least 600 micrograms. Minimum in most of the high quality prenatals is 1,000. And if you're over the age 35, you actually might want to go higher than that, close to 3,000. But that's a prenatal. And there's only limited real estate in a prenatal supplement, right? Especially a lot of women have issues with digestion. They feel nauseous, they get constipated, they don't want to take their prenatal. You really want to make sure that you're taking it every single day. So you got to make sure you can tolerate it well. Good quality prenatals are typically not one a day. It is extremely difficult to get a good quality prenatal with one a day. Like I said, there's just so much limited real estate in that capsule. You can't get all the vitamins and nutrients that you need. And if you can, you're missing out on a few key elements. So the folic acid is really important, making sure it's the 5-methylfolate that you're looking for, the active. You want to make sure you're using a more absorbable form of iron, like like ferritin that's actually in a bound to a sugar, like a polysaccharide. There's a few different types out there that are in most prenatals that you can probably kind of already look at and see, oh, it's not iron oxide. That stuff's really hard to digest, and a lot of women get constipation. So those are the really important things. Vitamin D, I'm always talking about vitamin D. If you have PCOS and that's the issue with infertility, you need to be on vitamin D. And 1,000 international units is not enough. It's not enough to help pregnancy rates enough to really get you those results that you're looking for. So you really want to make sure your vitamin D is, much higher than the minimum 1,000, but you want to be doing that with under the care of a doctor. So like a naturopath or your functional medicine doctor. Some fertility clinics will just say take vitamin D, but you really got to make sure you're taking enough. So again, in my case, with most of my patients, if they have PCOS, we're looking at 2,000 to 4,000 international units. And that's like 4 times as much as they were taking before, if they were lucky enough to be on vitamin D before. And yes, prenatals have vitamin D, but they might have 400 or 600. So if you're looking for therapeutic doses, like if you want to get pregnant, in a couple of months, or you're having issues right now, taking a prenatal and that calling it a day is not enough. And if you don't know your vitamin D levels and you're trying to get pregnant, please get those tested, okay? They're about $30, $35. It is so important. Like I said, if fertility is your thing, if you want to start a family, if you want to get pregnant, this is not where you're trying to scrimp and save over $10 or $20, okay? I genuinely mean that. This is the time where you want to be educated, you want to have a good healthcare team, and you want to be taking action. So quality vitamin D, and quality fish oil can really help, especially with egg quality, with fertilization, preventing DNA damage, right, which can cause miscarriage if it's early enough. And it's anti-inflammatory. So really, really wonderful. Fish oils, again, quality matters. You want to be taking at least 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams of omega-3s. So that's your EPA plus your DHA. That total should be about 1,500 milligrams. So remember, these are not things that you just want to do on your own and hope for the best. You want to get that guidance of a naturopath, or you want, if you're not already a member of her health club, join her health club and get the fertility details that I share with my patients and the health club members, because there's so much we can talk about for fertility, and it depends on the cause of what's going on. So if you're just tuning in now, we've covered the importance of male fertility. We've covered the AMH test, or anti-Müllerian hormone, and the importance of why that's needed to get tested and what it might tell you about your pregnancy chances, and the importance of some basic fertility supplements. So a good quality prenatal, vitamin D, and omega-3s. And we talked about dosages of those. So please rewind if you haven't yet tuned into that. And then this question is really important. So how long does it take to get pregnant after starting treatments? So after starting fertility treatments or starting natural treatments, I'm assuming is what the question means. And to be honest, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not a 1 month thing. It's not like take the supplement for a month and, just hope for the best. From a scientific standpoint, you want to be working on your fertility for about 4 months. That will improve the egg quality. And in some kind of holistic integrative fertility clinics that are really top tier clinics, not just conventional fertility doctors. They have all the natural aspects as well. They look at between 4 and 8 months, because think about it. You want to be act as if you're pregnant now, right? Taking those fertility supplements now, limiting your sugar, alcohol, heavy metal. Don't be consuming in plastic, all that stuff. Do that now. If you're looking at egg quality, it matters what you're doing now, because it takes 4 to 8 months to really get that egg matured that's actually going to eventually be fertilized. Okay? So if you were to get pregnant this month, that egg was maturing over a period of 8 months prior to that. So that's pretty intense, right? So I always tell women to plan at least 3 months before. That's when you want to start your prenatal. That's when you want to start your vitamin D. That's when you want to do some additional antioxidant and diet cleanup. That's when you want to consider detoxing, before you're thinking of getting pregnant. But then once you're already in pregnancy planning mode, or you're trying to conceive naturally, well, that's the moment that you really want to be thinking ahead. So to answer that question, how long do you have to be working on your fertility before you can get pregnant? Well, it depends, but realistically, you want to be thinking about 4 to 8 months in advance. Okay, and if you've already been struggling for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, I'm trying to empower you guys that you can make those changes now, and that will definitely reap the rewards later. Okay, but doing a full, thorough assessment, not like Googling one thing and then getting a supplement and then Googling another thing and trying that doesn't work. You need the guidance of a healthcare team in many cases. And that's why I created her health club. I want to give you the resources, the testing, the diet, the supplements, right? I'm talking to my Her Health Club members as well as I'm chatting with Instagram. But this is what I'm trying to give people, because even if you took that information and went to your fertility doctor or talked to your own naturopath about it, this can fast track your pregnancy success by months. And that can make or break, you know, a lot of health plans. So really important, right? That you're not waiting around hoping for results, but these results exist. And that's the whole point of doing Her Health Club. And that's why I want to give you guys all these extra resources. So I had a question, I'm just going to look through here, that came on via Instagram. And how early should someone stop birth control pills before trying to conceive? Great question. So how early? Well, it depends. Some women can get pregnant the first month off the pill. Unfortunately, that's not common. That's not what I see on a regular basis. The pill, birth control pill, really can throw off your cycle for quite some time. Because remember, the pill is not just keeping your cycle regular, it's actually preventing ovulation. That's the reason why it can prevent pregnancy. So the reality is, when you just stop the pill and hope your ovulation comes back, in many cases it will, but it might not be exactly regular. It might not be every 28-day cycles and you're ovulating on day 14, meaning that's when you can get pregnant. So I always tell women, at least give your body 3 months. And that's also because the pill depletes all those important B vitamins. So you need even more to replenish your stock. And then you want to be filling your cup up with a quality prenatal. So prenatal plus some extra B vitamins might be a really great idea at the beginning, at least for a few months before you start trying to conceive. And remember, it's all about quality of pregnancy. So what we don't want to do is rush getting pregnant if your body's not ready. If you're dealing with PCOS, if you're dealing with inflammation, thyroid problem, if you're trying to lose weight, right? If you're trying to control other autoimmune conditions, this is an issue. We don't just want to rush to get pregnant because there is a lot of hardship and heartache that comes from a potential miscarriage. So the whole point is getting pregnant and staying pregnant, having a successful pregnancy. So I really hope that you guys see the benefit in this and see the benefit of really doing the work. And doing the work means working with a healthcare practitioner. If you want somewhere to start, I encourage you to consider joining Her Health Club. All the fertility content is up and available for instant access. The link is in my bio on my Instagram, or go on my website and you can click on the tab Her Health Club. Well, for my members, thank you guys for being so awesome again this month. Fertility is such an amazing topic, and it's one that I want to support more women with. If you have any questions that I didn't get a chance to answer today, let me know so I can post stories about it tomorrow. And if you do want to sign up for Her Health Club, please do so in the link in my Instagram bio homepage. All right, this is it for me for right now. I'm going to say bye to Instagram, and we'll see you soon. And I'm going to say bye to my Facebook family, and we will see you guys soon. Next month, tune in for fibroids and endometriosis. It's going to be a big topic, so I'm going to try and cram a lot in. We'll see you guys soon.